as fun as Rakan can be to watch, you do have to be careful with timings because you are squishier than most of your other engaged support pairings. So we'll see if Hong can play this correctly. Because pretty clear man advantage for these set of grubs. Curious how aggressive Weibo really want to get to try and stop the 3 grub stack. As Hong is going to immediately dive in with a great entrance, cancel out the Fate Sealed. Between Rules was used, Flash has to come down as well as Tien nearly finds that kill in. All of a sudden, Weibo can now look a lot more competitive for these grubs. Xiaohao is going to have to back off and give at least one of them over.
Well, I'm still going to like this trade for the time being.
Xiaohao for a potential dive, as he does take over to level 6, but has a really well-placed pink ward that might just save Breathe here. His Flash is available. He's not backing off the turret, so I wonder if Xiaohao might just pull the trigger here, but Xiaohu is waiting not far away. This could be a double trap being set as Breathe now becomes the one baiting in EDG, gonna dash back in. Glacial Prison still gonna land despite the dash. Clean dive from Xiaohao, gives first blood over to EDG, but Xiaohu is hunting, trying to find a trade kill. Good dodge from Xiaohao though, keeping himself alive, gets the stun back down, and Xiaohu will find the trade, but at a cost. EDG with another impressive early start to a game. Toggle the fog there. Breathe, I think he might have spotted the jungle pet barely outside of the brush to avoid this dive, but we already got another dive on the other side. Angel uses the Spirit Form. Fate Seal does buy him space, but he gets away from his turret. Q3 dashes back. Turret aggro doing a ton for EDG's mid laner. Xiaohu's taking up way too much of the turret. How is Angel alive? He's going to try and TP out. Hog going to cancel it. Tian going to flash over the wall, so they get the kill, but that was far from clean for Weibo.
Okay, I want to give Angel his flowers there, as he has been, I think, one of the members of this team mechanically not up to snuff in some of the fights. That right there was a masterclass in the Yone. I think EDG are in a fantastic spot going up against Weibo here.
That alternate universe you talked about all for EDG could have maybe been at the potential top of Group A. A lot of their games to start that discourse looked a lot like this, and you can already see just, you know, you can mention it as synergy, but the different level of approach to these games.
EDG, again, so many years now where they've kind of fallen off on the wayside from the top of the bracket.
Oh, ZDZ
just getting some damage.
Yeah, he's getting aggressive here. Forces Tien took completely out of his jungle with the Glacial Prison with the accelerated itemization of the Gwen. Nearly knocks Tien down. He has to commit the Crescent Guard. Got some more ultimates flying on out here as Light does commit the Chains of Corruption. Hung gets a big knockup. Solar Flare immediately cleansed by Light. Between Worlds is going to trap EDG in, and maybe they just bit off a little more they could chew. Inferno Bomb comes back down from On. Angel shows up to our party a bit late, holding on to that Fate Sealed side. The kill is a nice spot for Weibo, but they're going to grab the second Drake. So despite all the scaling and ticking time bomb conversations we do have for Weibo, they are steadily tracking towards what will potentially be a Dragon Soul here, as a mountain one as well.
From this Varus, EDG under no contest are just going to grab the Herald.
I mean, you called it out as a coveted objective on the map to really advance this next phase of the game, and really intriguing to see that Weibo, the team we pushed as the ones that need to be more aggressive in this.
A little bit of damage onto Angel, but all of the carries are nowhere near this Dragon right now for Weibo.
Yeah, Weibo done a really good job at separating the solo lanes from the rest of EDG. This Gwen and Yone are the pivotal start points and finishing points for EDG's composition as they're currently designed, but instead they're allowing for this these battle lines to be drawn across the river here. Dragon slowly getting taken down. You can see Angel and ZDZ both setting up camp to try and go for flanks, as Angel's going to jump in with that Spirit Form onto Tien. Xiaohu is waiting for him to return to go for 1v1 of his own. There the quickness comes out from Hong as he does get jumped on by ZDZ, but the Rakan is really slippery. Stun still lands. He has to quit the flash away from the Zenith Blade. So Key Summoner going to come off of Weibo's side. Angel very low on the HP, and we're getting one of those 50-50 smite fights that you were talking about here, but it's just EDG that are getting bullied out of this pit. Weibo are unrelenting in their quest for this Mountain Drake, and they're going to pick it up. Secured by Tien, and no reason to fight any further. But Mountain Soul now seems to be a big pressure point for EDG to deal with. They are starting to get some move with this Ziggs here, those satchel charges, and knocking down a mid-1 turret. Looking for Tien, who's trying to get back to cover his top laner. Wasn't ready for Xiaohao to be waiting up ahead of him, so let's flash out of the Xin Zhao, and this should be EDG taking a pretty big command of the map. It's going to be all tier 1 turrets knocked down with ease.
And how much more can they get from this? Xiaohu does have TP. He's going to get this mid-tier 1 with no one contesting him. You already see that through mid lane, Angel is cutting through the jungle after clearing this mid lane. And how much more can EDG get? Because they are starting to give up some on the top side. And right now, I would like to see them put a little bit more priority to not only stopping Xiaohu, but potentially setting up for that.
Only 30 seconds behind it, so this is going to be a map state where you have Otacon, Baron, and a Soul Point Dragon to play for. Unless EDG look for the fight now. There's a TP coming on the top side. There's the stuns getting chained together, the Crescent Guard, the Solar Flare, everything sectioning Tien off away from his team. He's trying to chase down a desperate kill, but the pick has been found. EDG sprung the trap and find themselves a very critical pick. The ultimate out here for Weibo, and with them being in control of the Dragon stacking, I think that alone, is just going to push them off of this Dragon. So EDG back to making the smarter moves on the map here. They're going to shut off a pretty big win con for Weibo.
If EDG really wants to, On can just throw a couple of ultimates and just get rid of minion waves, start clearing the opposite side. Weibo maybe feeling a bit of desperation. The pings are going out. EDG want to try to push their advantage on the map, and Weibo going for the Otacon. This will give them so many blood roses and try to spike them back in power against the EXP and Adaptive Force.
Yeah, but their mid and bot waves are not in favor of this play. This is going to cost them likely 2 tier 2 turrets. At the very least, this bottom one that ZZ and Angel are already whacking away at. EDG maybe not going to greed for this mid-tier 2 turret. Don't want to give away a threat of a potential Baron player. Maybe they'll look to potentially wrap on these resets.
They're too late.
A lot of pings going down to that mid-tier 2 wave. Yeah, I think they just had to go for this tier 2 turret, especially with the Zig Satchel charge.
If they wanted to contest Otacon, they would have had to wait a lot earlier. Again, you have 5 grubs. It is so easy. They still throw down the satchel.
They still get it.
That is an insane amount of blood roses. That is a pretty big waste, especially the fact that they couldn't get anything, but they are also corralling Weibo around this mid lane wave. Weibo are going to be forced out. ZDZ.
Nothing. ZDZ, is he just getting sold out by Xiaohu right now? The charm comes across. That is a huge pick for Weibo. Away some big dragons away from Xiaohao. EDG know it. The dragon being tended to very cautiously, below 3,500. The Chains of Corruption gonna land onto Wing, not find anybody else. Inferno Bomb comes across. Cien is very, very low, but he goes in, steals it, secures Mountain Soul for Weibo Gaming, and now they can look to just pick off the stragglers. Flashes will not save you from the might of Breathe and Xiaohu as Weibo Gaming explode in the very first big fight of the game to find a clean sweep of kills across the board.
And they might even just go to Baron after this. EDG collapse in the moment that they needed to come together and help their jungler secure the dragon. It's a mid-tier 1 falling. They're trying to delay the recall of On. He'll get away safely, but at what cost? EDG looked all over the map there in that fight, and I don't know what to say. The team fighting has not looked all that clean, especially for our topside duo.
These item breakpoints would be the more threatening team, but not with the team fighting they've had so far.
No, it has not been good. It potentially ZZ fall. Oh my god, Angel just barely doesn't go down.
Kong at least keeping Xiaohao at bay, but all of that poke was just to get these turrets down. So the Baron already cashing in pretty heavily for Weibo Gaming. Grab a top and mid tier 2 turret, but they're looking for more here. They've got the waves to support it. Tien and Breathe are going to section off to go for a top tier 3, but look at the play from EDG. They're going to cut off the other side of the Serpent's head. It's Angel going in with a Fate Seal. Xiaohao steps around it somehow. The general of Weibo avoids the engage and sets up Breathe to just run amok in the backline. Angel down first. CDC needs to go huge with this Gwen, trying to heal through all the damage, but he can't do it through the full might of Weibo Gaming. It took 2 fights to do it, but Weibo are going to find themselves the 3-1 to start on the second round robin of Group B.
Xiaohu saw the calendar. He says, oh, it's only March? Well, guess what? I can still be the spring tiger here for the team. Weibo are going to take a back-breaking win up against EDG, and like you said, see themselves 3-1 here in Group A.
It's another what-if scenario, it feels like, Ulk.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.